Hey there, Steven here for Crystal Tractor and Equipment, and check out what I have got behind me here today. These are the all-new for 2024 RTV-X. This is the newest member of Kubota's diesel-powered utility vehicle lineup, and it's been updated from previous generations of the RTV-X series, adding some new features to add enhanced versatility. There's also a few different packages and versions available. So what I want to do today is go through these. We're going to take a look at the different packages, the different features, and show you just how this is going to be one of the best vehicles to help you get work done on the job site or on the farm or ranch. Let's go. So let's start off by going over the different packages that are available for the RTV-X. Now you're going to have three standard packages available. That's going to consist of the basic, which I have here in the front, the standard, which is here in the middle, and then we have the premium, which is down here on the end. Now, a lot of the same features are going to be universal across all different versions of this vehicle. The main differences that we'll find easily up front to identify them, here how the basic has a very basic front guard on it. You can see it doesn't really do much to protect the outer fenders or the headlights, but it does help if you have a front end impact. Here on the standard, we have an extra bar out on each side to help provide some extra protection for the fenders. And then here on the premium version, you'll see that we have extra hoops here on the outside to help protect your new LED headlights as well. Now, aside from that, the other major difference is going to be in the beds, which we'll get into that here in a minute. And then we'll have a few other minor details. For one, we have the different colors available. The basic is only available in Kubota Orange. Our standard package is available in Kubota Orange and the Real Tree Camo, which you can see here. And premium is gonna have both of those color options, as well as the new Desert Sand for 24, which you'll see here on my premium on the end. And then I'll have a few different tire options too, and we'll go over those a little bit later in the video. One of the things that Kubota is known for in the market is building long-lasting, reliable engines. And in the case of the RTV-X, that is no exception. So no matter which version of this vehicle you get, there's gonna be a 25 horsepower Kubota D1105 at the heart of it. Now that engine is actually one of Kubota's most popular. They use it in a lot of different equipment, including some of their B and L series tractors, even the ZD series mowers, and even in the U27 excavator. So it's a pretty reliable engine that they've been using in a lot of equipment for a long time. From there, that power is going to be sent through Kubota's VHT-X transmission that they put on their X series utility vehicles. Now, what that is going to be a hydrostatic transmission, very similar to what they put in their tractors. The difference is you're going to have two ranges for your forward motion and one reverse gear as well. Now, it's very easy to drive a hydrostatic transmission because it operates similarly to an automatic transmission in a car. That means you don't have to worry about shifting through gears. Now, it's also more reliable than the CVT that you might find in similar utility vehicles because you don't have to worry about belt system that might slip or wear out over time and end up having to be replaced. Now, the other great thing about the VHT-X transmission system is that it also adds dynamic braking. Now, what that means is you don't necessarily have to always use the brake pedal to be able to slow down the vehicle. When you release the gas pedal, the transmission is actually going to automatically provide engine braking. So that makes hill descent a lot easier because you're not necessarily having to bounce back and forth between two pedals or use 2 feet for that. And it also makes just driving much more comfortable and more dynamic as well. This powertrain combination is also going to get us a top speed of 25 miles per hour, as well as a towing capacity of 1,300 pounds. And what you'll also find in the rear is going to be Kubota's Extra Duty IRS, as they call it. That's their independent rear suspension. So you'll find here on the X series that you have independent suspension on all 4 corners, not just in the front, as you will with other vehicles. And that's going to provide a very comfortable driving experience. That independent suspension is also going to provide 8 inches of full travel in the suspension platform, and you'll find that underneath you have 10.5 inches of clearance in both the front and the rear. Another benefit we'll find in the powertrain drivetrain system, especially if we're towing a large load, is going to be the hydraulic wet disc brakes. Now those are going to provide more stopping power than a traditional dry system that you'll find on other utility vehicles. They also are going to last longer because the wet disc system is fully enclosed and not exposed to the weather and the elements, which you're very likely to encounter on a job site or trail. Moving into the interior of the vehicle, we'll find that it is designed for 2 occupants. It's going to be a driver and a single passenger with the split bench design here for the seating. Now this is pretty convenient because it does allow you to flip these seats up easily, and that's going to get us some access to a storage compartment down here in the bottom of the bench seat. Now this entire tray is easily removable, so you can actually get this dumped out and cleaned out if you need to. And there's an extra support underneath here that helps support these seats as well. Moving up into the standard and premium models, we'll also find the driver's seat is going to be adjustable for leg room, and that our steering wheel is going to have a tilt lock lever over here, so we'll be able to adjust that as well. You won't find these 2 features on the base model. Another great feature that makes its way across all 3 versions is going to be standard 4-wheel drive. Now that's easily selectable with a lever right here that's in between the 2 seats. Simply go down for 4 or pull up for 2, and you're going to have full-time 4-wheel or 2-wheel drive depending on what works best for your terrain situation. Now if you need a little bit of extra grip, the front wheel drive is going to be limited slip differential. The rear is going to be manually lockable. So we have a foot pedal right here that we can press, and that's going to lock up the rear end. As well, if you pull this knob out, you can release that, and that's going to give you full-time lock on the rear differential. All we have to do to release that is push the pedal again. Having a look here at the dash, first thing we're going to find is a cup holder here on the passenger side with another on the driver's. Now here we also have a nice little glove box compartment that's going to give you some extra sealed storage in here if you need to keep something safe. You can lock that up just like that. Here in the center, we're going to find our LCD display panel. That's going to show you on the screen your miles per hour, your fuel level, and your engine temperature levels. It'll also show you your vehicle miles while the engine's running, or if you just turn your key to the on position, it's going to show you your engine hours. So that way you can help keep track of your maintenance schedule. You also have some extra indicators along the sides and bottom. One of the ones I like is right here. It's going to show you when your 4-wheel drive is activated. And you'll have some other warnings and light indicators as well. Moving over to the left, we're going to have our shifter. Now this is pretty simple thanks to that VHT transmission. The only selections we're going to have is our neutral, reverse, and our high range is going to get us up to that 25 miles per hour. And we also have a low range option here as well. Now what that's going to do is change the gear ratio so that it provides you significantly greater torque at the expense of your top speed. But this does come in very handy if you're hauling a large heavy load or towing a large load in the back, or if you need to climb a hill. Then here, of course, we're going to have our steering wheel with our tilt lever. We'll have our manual parking brake. And here on the left, we're going to have our horn and our headlight controls. Now this brings us to one of the other differences between the base model and the other versions, because the base model is only going to have a low beam on your LED headlights, but with the standard and premium, you will have a high beam option as well. Now talking about that 4-wheel drive, let's go ahead and take a look at the wheels and tires, which is going to be how you get that power to the ground. You'll find that we're going to have 2 tire options available on the RTV-X. Now the first is going to be our new HDMP. That's their heavy duty multi-purpose. This is going to be in general your work site tire. You'll find that it's very knobby. Now what they've done is they redesigned this from the older HDWS or heavy duty work site tire. It's got a new beefier tread on it, and they do say in their testing that it does last longer versus the HDWS on pavement type surfaces. On the camo models exclusively, you'll also have an ATV tire option. And you'll notice here that my HDMP on this version, on the premium, does have an alloy wheel. This is only available with the HDMP tires. You won't be able to get alloys on the ATV tire option. Now, as we finish our look through the interior, it's going to bring us to this right here. And this is going to be one of the final differences between the different versions of this vehicle. Now, this right here is going to be your hydraulic dump control lever. So you'll be able to pull the handle up to raise your bed you'll be able to push it down to lower it, and if you lock it all the way down, it does have a float position if you need a little bit of manual control on the hydraulic versions. The difference here is that on the basic model, you won't find the hydraulic lever. This is going to be locked off, and you'll have instead a manual dump on the back with a locking lever that's going to help hold that bed up for you. Now, talking about the bed itself, this is where we're going to find the one main feature that's exclusive to the premium version that you don't find on the standard or basic. If you take a look here at the tailgates, you'll see that this one has a more traditional lever lock style, so I can just pull these down and that's going to open my tailgate and it comes right down. Here on the premium version, instead I have buckle locks, so I have to go ahead and manually unbuckle both sides to be able to drop my tailgate. Now, it may seem like an extra hassle, but there's a good reason for it. That's because the sides on the premium version are able to lower as well. So if I actually raise the gate up just a little bit and I pull my support strap out here, I can actually go over here and unbuckle the side from the bed and lay this side all the way down. Now that allows me to do two things. From there, I can actually close this tailgate back up. I can buckle my one side, leave it the way it was, and then I've got a side opening bed, and we can do this on either side. The other option is, if I go ahead and unbuckle this side and I release my strap on both sides, I can lay this all the way down, unbuckle the other side, and now I've got a full flatbed. Now, if you want to leave this in a more permanent flatbed configuration, the tailgate itself is very easy to remove. We actually have a locking lever here that we just rotate to a different position, and we're able to pull the tailgate right off. We do the same thing on the other side. It comes right out of here, and we can put that back. In our side gates here, we have two locking pins in the hinges that are secured with this ring here. We can pull these out, and then we can also remove these sides entirely, and we'll have just the flatbed option. Now, Kubota calls this option Pro Convert, and it can be very useful for professionals who need to use their vehicle in different ways, where it's easier to load items in the side, or perhaps you need to get a forklift into the side and remove it from there. There's a lot of different ways that can actually add extra versatility on this vehicle. Now, the nice thing about all versions of this bed, you'll find that no matter which version you get, you are going to get a steel bed, and you're going to have a maximum cargo capacity here of 1,100 pounds and about 15 cubic feet of storage. So you'll see here on the basic model, we get a nice steel bed, but we don't have a liner. So the liner option is not available until we get to the standard model. You'll find here the camo version always comes with the liner, and all the standard and premium models also come with utility tie-down hooks bolted into the bed as well. You'll have one at each corner for, again, more versatility with your cargo. Now, when it gets around to being time for maintenance, Kubota's made that pretty easy as well. When the bed is up, you'll find that all versions of it do feature a lock option here. So with my hydraulic option, I can just lock the ram down here, and that's going to keep this bed from accidentally falling on us if we're down in here doing any maintenance. You'll find pretty easy access to the engine and transmission here in the rear underneath the bed. And there's a few handy access panels here on each side as well. That's going to allow easier access to your battery, as well as some other cables and components underneath the vehicle. And then when we have a look here in the rear, there's some maintenance that we can do as well. So you have 4 bolts here that hold on this rear panel. That's going to make it very easy to get to your hydraulic filters. Both of them are accessible right here. We can also see our muffler. Now, another improvement that Kubota made on this generation of the vehicle is that the muffler is now attached with a flexible joint here in the middle where it meets the exhaust manifold. That's going to allow more flexibility between those components, and you won't have to worry about cracking your exhaust piping. Coming around to the front, it's also easy to maintain your cooling system. So we'll find a little latch right here that actually opens up the front like an automotive style hood, and inside we'll find our radiator and oil coolers, both of which are going to feature a pre-screen that'll help keep debris from getting into your radiators and clogging those up, hurting your cooling performance. You'll have your brake fluid reservoir over here, and on the left we'll also find our air filter, easily replaceable here. Now, one of the final great things about the RTV-X is that it is made in the USA at Kubota's assembly plant in Georgia. So you're getting American-made quality, and Kubota does back it up too with a full 24-month warranty up to 1,000 hours. So you are going to be covered if any issues do arise. Now, the RTV-X is just one of the many great utility vehicles we offer here at Crystal. If you'd like to see more options, you can visit us at crystaltractor.com and you can see all of our inventory across all 15 locations. But if you think the RTV-X might be the right vehicle for you, go ahead and leave a comment on the video and let us know what you think. Also, if you found this video helpful, if you could leave a like on the video, it helps us out. We really appreciate you taking a look at the video and let us know if we helped.